right, good morning, friends. This is Jerry Robinson from Follow the Money Daily. Very exciting week for us here at our website and at our business because we are releasing Trigger Trade Pro. This is the exact system that I have been using for years to trade the market successfully, and it's really how we find buy signals and sell signals for virtually everything that we do here at our organization, and it's proven to be very lucrative to us over the years, especially with keeping us out of the 2008 crisis, spotting early trends on many different stocks and on ETFs. And this particular system is now going to be available on the 31st of May, and we are very, very excited about it. Now, you'll see here that it says swing trading option, penny stock option, and long-term option coming soon. What this means is that we're actually going to tailor this software based upon your particular preference. So maybe you're someone who really is looking to trade penny stocks, stocks that are relatively cheap, at least the way I define them would be for this service would be below $8. And so we do have the penny stock option. We also have the swing trading option, and that is any kind of stock, whether it's or even ETFs, but it could also be like a growth stock, a blue chip stock, a value stock. So all of those would be part of the swing trading option. And as I mentioned, this service is going to be available on May 31st, which is this weekend. Now, as I was mentioning, whenever you subscribe to Trigger Trade Pro, you're going to receive one of these reports every single month based upon your choice. And we already talked about these two, the swing trading report and the penny stock report. Later on down the road, we're going to introduce a long-term option for people who are wanting to get a bit more access and who want to have stocks that are forming long-term buy signals, multi-year buy signals. And so we'll be making that available soon as well. So for those of you who are new to our Trigger Trade system and you've never really seen this before, or you've just kind of heard about it through the grapevine, just real quickly, let me show you how the Tripwire, the Trigger, and all of this work. It's a very, very simple process for people who are looking to create income or just create profits from the overall stock market. You can see that our system is very, very simple. We use 3 different steps that you have to take to identify a buy. And here we have what we call the Tripwire. This is just a little black line that just goes back and forth from the green to the red. Well, when it dips into the green, we consider that stock to have tripped. So once a stock trips by moving down into the green zone, it instantly comes onto our radar for closer examination. Now, we never trade a stock that has not first dipped into this green zone called the Tripwire. The second step is once we actually have a Tripwire occur, then we want to see the stock trigger. And this is the trigger area here. And all that has to happen is for the black line to go above the other line. You can also look at the histogram behind these lines, and you'll see that when it's below the zero center line, that the black line is below the gray line. But when it goes above the zero line, the histogram, then the black line is above the gray line. So that is the trigger. And then finally, once we have a trigger, we have to make sure, to be safe, that it is a confirmed trigger. And the way we do that is we look at step 3, and it's our confirmation. If the line, the squiggly line here, is in the green, we're safe. If it's not, we have to wait until it moves back to the green area. So that's how our system works. It's a very simple system. There are only 2 trading rules. Number 1, ignore any and all triggers that occur in the first 30 minutes of the market's open. We never trade in the first 30 minutes. And secondly, always place a stop loss order immediately after placing a new trade. So what I want to show you right now, just very briefly, is this brand new Trigger Trade Pro system. This is it. You're staring at it right now. We have been working on getting this out to you for some time, and you can see that what it does is it allows you to type any stock into this area here. Let's just go ahead and type in Apple. We'll type in Apple and hit go, and you'll see how it works. Now we have our chart pulled up, and notice what happens as we scroll down. We have our price of the chart here. You see this, very simple. Here we have the volume, which is very helpful. And then we have our tripwire, our trigger, and our confirmation. So what we wait for is we wait for the moment to where we are able to see the tripwire move down into the green, something like this right here. And then we wait for the very next trigger, like right here. So do you see it? The tripwire happens whenever the line, the squiggly line, drops down into the green. And then as soon as that happens, we look for the black line to cross above the red line. Very simple process, isn't it? It's a very simple process. And then once that happens, we just make sure that it's in the green. And sure enough, right here, whenever the black line crosses above the red line, after the tripwire, we see that the confirmation is in the green. That's all we need to see. So now we know that we can go and check out and see where that stock would have been. We would have bought right here. This would have been our buy signal. And we come up right here and we see, wow, we would have got in right here. What a great time to get into Apple, right before it jumps and moves much, much higher. So you can see the power of this trigger trading system. Now let's bring it down just a hair and show you how this works on a day trading setup. Let's say that you have a little bit of extra time and you want to make maybe a little extra money from the markets. So what you would do is you would type in a stock ticker symbol here. You can either type in the stocks that we send you, because every month, remember, you're going to receive a report of your choice. It'll either be the swing trading report, which will have up to 25 different stocks that are nearing their trigger price, along with an entry price and an exit price, the whole 9 yards. You'll get that every month. Or you may select the penny stock option, and in that case, you'll get up to 10 stocks every single month that are below $8 that are nearing a trigger price. But here I'm putting in a very low-priced ETF. It's PBW, Wilbur Hill Clean Energy Power Shares. And I've typed this in. Now let's just take a look at it on the day. Let's just take a look at it for a one-day period. All right. And so now we have, and this is probably not a good one to use. Let me just use something else because you see how sporadic it is and it's kind of hard to read. Some low-traded ETFs will appear that way. We want to focus on the ones that have some good volume. Okay, here's a stock live that was up dramatically in trading yesterday. So let's take a look at a one-day chart of live. And you can see that it was down here at about $4 in the morning. This is just a one-day chart. And you'll see that it rockets higher throughout the day, and it ends up kind of topping out here at about 530, 540, somewhere in here, and then it moves back down. Well, we certainly get a opportunity to move in because our tripwire tells us, notice the very first trip of the day happens right here. So there's our very first tripwire, and then the very first trigger after the tripwire occurs right here. Do you see it? It crosses right above. And so now all we have to do, once we have determined that, we simply go down and make sure that our confirmation is in the green. And sure enough, it is. You see right there. So we have a buy right here, right after 1 o'clock, right after the lunch hour. And look at this. Right after 1 o'clock, the stock begins to move higher. You could have bought at just under $5 and rode it higher to about $5.30. It came back down to about 5, came back up to 5.20, and ended up, at around 5.07, I guess, at the end of the day. But when you're doing trading with these low-price stocks, this can be really powerful if you can get in just at the right time. And again, how do you know when to get in? The tripwire dips into the green, comes up, we wait for the trigger to trigger, the black line crosses the red line, and then we buy if this squiggly line down here called confirmation number 1 is in the green, not in the red. If it's in the red, we got to wait. We have to wait until it turns green. So Very simple introduction to our Trigger Trade Pro. You can also see that you can do 20-year charts with this. Let's take a look real quickly at, we were looking at Apple just earlier. Let's take a look at Apple stock. And let's change the settings down here. You'll notice after you type something in, you can add indicators, you can compare, you can add overlays, all kinds of different things. Very powerful software. Now, you'll notice here on Apple, let's go to a 20-year chart. 20-year chart. Let's say that you're not a trader at all. You don't want to trade stocks. You don't want to sit around and stare at computers all day. But you do want to buy a company when it triggers and just sit on it and hold it and wait for it to go up and then cash in your gains. Well, look at Apple stock right here. We have a Apple stock price currently at about $624. Come down here and take a look at the Tripwire. We notice that the Tripwire really hasn't done anything since about 2009. You see, here's the year down here. You can see all the years going across down here. This is a 20-year chart. And you'll see the last time that the Tripwire actually happened was back in 2009. So it happened just again at the beginning of 2013. Notice we ignore these stocks until this happens. And so the last trigger would have been where? It would have been right here and this cross right here. Here is the trigger. You see how it dips into the green, comes out of the green, and then the black line crosses above the red line. There it is. There's the trigger. And was it in the green? Yes, it was. So we have a buy signal right at the beginning. Well, actually, probably closer to the end of 2009. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. And then finally, the last trigger just happened recently. You see this right here? It dipped down, and the Tripwire dipped down below the 20 area, dipped down into the green, and then came back out. And then sure enough, the black line comes along and hooks up right through the red line. And do we have a confirmation? Absolutely, because we are in the green. So let's go take a look. Had we bought Apple when it triggered back just right before 2010, we would have bought right about here. This would have been a really good time to buy Apple stock. I think you would agree. Now, what about this latest opportunity to buy Apple? You remember we said that it had just triggered. There was our Tripwire, there was our trigger, and it was a confirmed trigger. So we come up here and we see it was just recently. And we can see how the stock has really been rising. We could have got it close to $500 about the time of the trigger, and then we could have been sitting on some very nice gains during that time. As you can see, Trigger Trade Pro is a very powerful software that you can use to type in any stock. Perhaps you have a portfolio of stocks and you want to check them and see where they are. This service and system works for finding stocks that are setting brand new long-term buy signals, short-term buy signals. You can use this for day trading, swing trading, position trading. You can also use this to examine your current holdings and see if they're in a good place or a bad place. This system also can be used to short stocks because the exact same system that we just showed you can actually be reversed. So instead of using the dip into the green area, you would use the dip into the red, and then you would want to see this kind of action here where the black line crosses below the red line, and then we would be down in the red, and that would be a confirmation to buy. Whereas this right here would have been a perfect opportunity to short the stock, Apple stock. Okay, so Trigger Trade Pro now available coming May 31st. And I tell you, I just cannot wait for this to hit the street. We've already had many pre-orders. And today, if you're interested in securing your own copy of this software, it's all web-based. You don't have to download anything. All you do is log into our website, and when you become a Trigger Trade Pro subscriber, we give you everything that's in the FTM Insider area. So you get access to our market barometer and our global currency monitor, and you get our access to all of our ETF reports. You get access to our newsletter, and the list just goes on and on. So it's a fantastic new service. So glad and so proud that this is finally coming out. So glad that it's available to you now. And so, friends, I hope you check it out. If you have any questions, give us a call, 800-609-5530. We're here in the office, ready to take your call, answer your questions about our brand new software, Trigger Trade Pro. And if you're wondering about the price, well, be sure to complete the form on this page to be sure that you get the very best deal on this software when it comes out. It's going to retail for $999 per year. It's going to retail for $99 per month. But you don't have to pay that if you get in early. We're going to have some very limited seats available at a drastically reduced price for all of our readers and listeners. So be watching for that. Be sure to sign up for the discounted price with your email on this page, and we'll send you information as soon as the coupon codes become available so you can buy it at a discount and get involved. And also, as you well know, we have a solid refund policy at any time during the first 90 days. If you're not absolutely positively satisfied with everything that we're doing here, then you can always get your money back. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for letting me break in and share this with you. I'm so excited, and I hope to hear from you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.